another helicopter to the Charlotte Motor Speedway and go race. So I would say probably from the time the checkered flag drops till I get on the ground or get to Charlotte Motor Speedway, probably just under 2 hours. So
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's quick.
Kyle Larson has done what NASCAR feared most. He's taken on the sport's toughest challenge and shifted the focus away from loyalty to one series. His bold move has shaken up the conversation about what happens when top drivers start chasing greatness beyond NASCAR. The 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion has just confirmed everyone's worst fears by announcing his second attempt at the Double, the most grueling and ambitious single day in all of American motorsports that involves racing in both the Indianapolis 500 and NASCAR's Coca-Cola 600 on the same day. What makes this announcement particularly earth-shattering is the context of what happened during Larson's first attempt in 2024. NASCAR officials watched in horror as their biggest star chose the Indianapolis 500 over his NASCAR obligations, and now he's doing it again despite the massive controversy it created throughout the racing world. The numbers behind this challenge tell an incredible story of just how impossible Larson's quest really is. Since the World 600 came into being in 1960, only 22 attempts by 14 drivers have been made to either run in or qualify for both the Indy 500 and the Coke 600 in the same season. Of those attempts, only 15 saw the driver actually run in both races, and only 9 happened at least partially on the same day in true double-duty fashion. But here's where the story gets absolutely shocking. Few of the double-duty attempts actually involve completing all or most of the 1,100 total miles. Tony Stewart became the first and, to date, only driver to successfully pull off that incredible feat in 2001, while Robbie Gordon nearly did it the following year, finishing just 1.5 miles shy after completing 399 of 400 laps in Charlotte. The closest anyone has come since was Kurt Busch, who ran 906.5 miles in 2014, including the entire Indy 500, before being forced to retire early from the Coke 600 due to an engine problem. Larson got his own 500 miles in at Indy last year before rain spoiled his night in North Carolina, but what happened next revealed exactly why NASCAR officials are terrified of this challenge. Last year's attempt created unprecedented chaos that sent shockwaves through the entire NASCAR establishment. A rain delay at Indianapolis thrust Larson's attempt at the Double into complete chaos, as he was forced to choose between committing to the Indy 500 and fulfilling his NASCAR obligations. In a move that stunned NASCAR officials, Larson chose to stay at Indy, finishing 18th after starting 5th. The drama that followed perfectly illustrated NASCAR's worst nightmare scenario. Larson flew to Charlotte in an attempt to at least get in his car mid-race and run the remaining laps of the 600 after reserve driver Justin Allgaier started Larson's car in his place. But another rainstorm stopped the 600 at lap 249, preventing Larson from ever making a single lap in his Cup car and completely ruining his first try at the Double. The aftermath of this decision created a massive crisis for NASCAR officials. While reserve driver and NASCAR Xfinity Series star Justin Allgaier started Larson's car at Charlotte and was credited as the driver of record, the plan was for Larson's Hendrick Motorsports team to make a driver change upon his arrival. But those remaining laps never happened, and Larson would have to be granted a waiver from NASCAR in order to remain eligible for the playoffs, despite having missed a race. What makes Larson's second attempt even more shocking is his complete disregard for the controversy he created. According to DraftKings, he's a plus 550 favorite to win the nightcap in Charlotte, which works out to about a 10 to 15% win probability, and his plus 1,800 Indy 500 odds are around 4 or 4.5%. Roughly assuming independence for those two probabilities, that works out to about a 1 in 150 chance that Larson would win both races. But the most terrifying part for NASCAR officials is what Larson's pursuit represents for the future of the sport. Early in the period after it became possible, again in the 1990s, trying the Double was the domain of drivers with an open-wheel IndyCar-style background. John Andretti and Robbie Gordon had 75 or more previous career starts in either IndyCar, Champ Car, or kart at the time of their first attempt. Larson has broken away from the old way of doing things. Even though he had never raced an IndyCar before the 2024 Indy 500, he didn't back down. He's trusting his skill and showing he can compete in any car, anywhere, anytime. This shift is NASCAR's worst fear. Open-wheel racing is no longer just for specialists. Top drivers like Larson now want to compete everywhere, not stay loyal to one series. His approach challenges the core of NASCAR's business, which relies on drivers sticking to their lane. The preparation for this year's attempt has been incredibly methodical and determined. Kyle Larson got in one last day of prep work at Indianapolis Motor Speedway during Carb Day, as he readies himself to attempt the double once again. I think IndyCar is a little different than NASCAR with the drafting and not knowing what people's objectives really were, but it doesn't hurt to be fast in multi-lap runs, Larson said Friday. I feel good about my balance, so yeah, I feel like we're pretty decent. Larson's stronger position and growing confidence make his double attempt even riskier for NASCAR. He'll start 19th in the Indy 500, driving the number 17 McLaren Chevy, and says he plans to be smartly aggressive in the pack, but weather remains a big threat. While North Carolina looks mostly clear, storms are more likely in Indiana, putting his whole plan in doubt and keeping NASCAR officials on edge. Larson's smart approach to racing both the Indy 500 and Coca-Cola 600 shows he's serious, not just chasing headlines. His success proves drivers now want to compete across series, not stay in one. NASCAR fears this shift, especially since Larson's IndyCar goals haven't hurt his performance. In fact, he came back and won the Brickyard 400, showing he's more dangerous than ever. Larson's plan to race both the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 on the same day is full of challenges. He'll jump from one car to a helicopter, then to a private jet, then another chopper to Charlotte. Everything must go right, and bad weather could ruin it like last year. NASCAR officials are nervous. They fear problems could stop him, and they don't like that he's putting IndyCar ahead of NASCAR. Larson is showing that chasing IndyCar glory matters more to him than staying loyal to NASCAR. What do you think about Kyle Larson's decision to attempt the double again? Is this the kind of ambition that makes racing great, or does it represent a dangerous trend for NASCAR's future? Share your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for more breaking motorsports coverage.